recession-proof challenge and is designed to help everybody who is a participant of it build their 100, that's right, 100 people who can change their lives, change the game, bring them deals, bring them all the money they're looking for, aka build them their dream 100 or 100 millionaires, and it's going to make them recession-proof. So we're going to start with your avatar. I want to write at the top of a piece of paper the word avatar. Now, this is not like the movie with the blue giants that you could take over their bodies just by jumping into the little machine. This is all about the marketing avatar, who you want to serve, who you like to hang out with. Ron and I used to start this conversation. We do it every so often, once a year. Has our avatar changed? Which, by the way, happens. Sometimes, yes, as you grow, you develop, you realize that this person working with this type of avatar, I'm going to have to work with 100 people and I'm only going to make 100,000. And then as you change your desire to make more, you can change your avatar to make 1 million or change your avatar to make 2 million or 3 million. But you can still work with 100 people. Or if you want to only work with 10 and you want to make 1 million, you just change your avatar to somebody who would be working with 10 that would make $1 million. For example, my coaching program goes for $100,000. So 10 of those makes $1 million. Hands to the camera if you grasp, it's a different type of avatar who buys that. Excellent. Very cool. So the importance of an avatar is understood. And now we're going to dive into how to do it. The first step is defining them. Before you can find them, you must define them. So the question to ask yourself is, who is your avatar? So let's look at a comparison so you have an idea of what defining your own avatar might look like. One of the questions or one of the ideas around this is what your avatar is not. And the first is my avatar. Well, this is a fictional avatar, but an avatar is anyone who likes the topic X and wants to learn more about the topic Y, or wants to learn more about the topic itself. So for us in real estate, or me and Ron right now, it's anyone who is a business owner or entrepreneur who runs a team or wants to run a team who is looking for complete automation or scaling that team. So becoming recession proof, somebody who's looking for their 100 people that they want to scale up. So it's 100 millionaires inspired to build 100 millionaires, a shorter way for us to look at that. What is a good start to defining your avatar? Could sound like this. My avatar is 45 to 55 years old, works a full-time job, a 9 to 5, has a family with 2 kids, and finds themselves frustrated and feeling alone every day because they don't know where to find the knowledge that I'm going to provide them about X, or in our case, financial freedom. An even better avatar, and this would be a shortened version, is this next example. And this is something that Ron and I actually used for Alchemist Nation for last year. And although I've changed the name because I couldn't remember the name we used, I think we used Rich because rich people, Richard, Rich, it kind of made sense for us, but I've shifted it now, just a little adjustment. So my avatar is 45. His name is Alan, or used to be Rich, and he is a home owner and business owner. He's been wanting to invest in real estate for months now. He doesn't know where to start. He's a hard worker, but he could use some help on how to structure and implement all of the investing advice he's been receiving, because analysis paralysis has caught him by the balls. Plus, he's not really sure what is the right investment strategy most of the time. He is working full-time and earning a great income, so he has a cash reserve, but would really like to quit his job, become more passive in his business. Alan lives with his wife. Listen to this. That means they're married. And they both want to travel more. They hate their jobs and they want to build legacy wealth so their children never have to think about money. Now, in that example, you can see how we went from really broad in the beginning. My avatar is, it was one sentence, to a little bit more detailed. I even pointed out that there was a gender. Did anybody catch that the gender of Alan was a male, that was a gender specific? If you look at our community, the people who have paid us the most or the most consistently, because actually our women have paid us pretty damn well, which is interesting because our women only make up 33% of our community at the moment. Few of our women have paid us really well, but our most money has come from a male, and Greg LeBlanc is kind of like our model because he just paid us $50,000 for one of our programs. Hands to the camera if you can model people who exist in your life already, people who've already paid you, it makes the most sense. And we look at some of our other avatars, the other 60 people who have paid the most amount, and it was very specific. They were always married. People who've paid the most have always been married. Hands to the camera if that's a very interesting demographic. It's information you should be paying attention to. Now, are there outliers? Of course there's outliers. Look at Dorian. She just jumped in, right? Found her at the Boston RIA. Just because our avatar and our marketing is focused towards one type of person, it's okay to bring in other people. Is that all right? Hand scan, if that makes sense. The reason you have your avatar is because that's who you're going to creating your messaging for, direct messaging. But you're going to find the other people outside of your avatar. Look, Derek Neal's in here. Derek's not 45. He's a younger person, right? And we've got Jennifer from Greg Simpson's teams in here. She's also not, well, she's close to 45, 44, right? So she's, but she's got a child. So she fits a lot of those components. Is it okay if your avatar is a little messy? They're not all perfect, yes? If you aim at the avatar, you're going to catch everybody who'd be close in that background. It's just if you start getting out to that, you may catch a sphere that's even further away, and that's going to cause less and less congruency with your message and make it a little more difficult for you. So I not only know a little bit about Alan, his demographics, but I also have a good idea about what his biggest obstacles are, his pain points, and most importantly, what his problems and his challenges, his fears and his dreams and aspirations are. So I understand a lot about the internal dialogue. Did you guys mention, notice I mentioned legacy wealth. I haven't talked to a single person in Alchemist Nation who hasn't said the word legacy wealth to me, who hasn't said financial freedom to me, who hasn't said I want to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want. These sentences come up every single time I have a meeting with hundreds of people over the last 3 years. Every single conversation has led into at least 2 of those. Hence the camera, if you can do a little market research like this as well, you could spend some time with your people and start getting clear about what they're looking for. Awesome. And for most of you, hence cam, if you're a real estate investor, you're looking to buy some real estate. Okay, so most of your avatars are likely going to be motivated sellers. They're in their 60s and 70s. They've owned their property more than 7 years. They have children. They have families. They have either a spouse who they care about or is passed away and is likely to be passing away soon. Typically, the spouse is already gone by the time they become motivated enough, or they're on their way out. These are really important demographics to understand. So in your marketing, you're seeking people who fit that. So your messaging would be, hey, you're up there in age. You may even, for your messaging, you may even want to bring in somebody who's in their 60s and 70s to help create that message for you. Or your pictures may want to be people who look like that. But you're up there in age. You're realizing the things that are really the most important are no longer that house that you have to fix all the time or the house you raise your family in. What's really important is being able to spend time with your family. And with inflation and all the prices going up and potentially a recession coming and not being able to get the full price for your house anymore, it makes a lot of sense just to get rid of that liability and pass that along to the next generation, somebody who's going to be able to build a family and raise their children and hopefully have that same memories that you had at one point. If you're looking to cash out of that property and be able to move forward with your life and get into a better situation where you actually have your independence again, where you can afford to pay for things, because right now you're probably cash rich, house rich and cash poor. And it's time, you've worked hard enough, that house has worked hard enough for you. It's time to get that cash back so that you can live out the rest of your life without feeling stress of taking care of and maintaining a property for your kids who probably don't even want this property anymore. And something along those lines would be really good messaging. Hence the camera, if that's helpful. Excellent. So is my avatar really real? Like I said, they are a collection of people. They are a collection of demographics that we've found over the years to be extremely consistent. You might be wondering, but if my avatar will help me make decisions, if they're not a real person and someone who actually I can call and talk to, how do I leverage this? And the easiest way to put this, has anybody ever read a book where there was a character and the character just kind of, was really interesting and built up really well? Has anybody ever read one of those books? Lord of the Rings or yes. So if you've ever listened to a producer of a book or a writer, an author, they'll tell you that the character just kind of took a mind of its own. Like the character just started going and doing things and I had to bring them back on track and they were going this way and I had to figure out like, how do I get them back to, they're supposed to go to Mordor and get rid of this ring, but they kind of wanted to go off and hang out with the elves a little bit longer. Hence, you can grasp how a character could just take a mind of their own. You want to create that much depth and be able to ask the question, what would this person do? For our case, what would Alan do? Or used to be Rich. What would Rich do? And why would they do that? And so what causes it? What triggers it? Because the character has to be developed enough. The avatar has to be developed enough for you to be able to make business decisions around them because they are absolutely real. You just have to go out and find them. The second step, finding your avatar. Once you have an idea of who your avatar is, you must find a place to start. Now, you can go out there and look for them. You can actually look in places all over the place randomly, or you could look at very specific places where they'd be likely to hang out. The more you understand your avatar, the more easy it's going to become. For motivated sellers, they're in their freaking house. that you're looking to buy. So easiest location ever. Hands to camera, if we catch that, they are in their home. You can also look for them in online communities, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google. You can go to in-person meetups. If they're motivated home sellers, the in-person meetups might be city organizations. It might be bingo nights. It might be, think of things that older people do. If you have a very strong Catholic, even Christian churches in your area, it could be those get-togethers that those churches do. Sometimes they have potlucks or they have festivals or dinners. You may find them getting together at those events as well. Through your own network, you may have friends and family who know somebody who's older and owns a property. If your avatar is like ours, we usually ask our community to invite us to people who are like them, because people who are like them also know each other. Does that make sense? Your avatar may know other people similar to their avatar. Once you found them, you got to really talk to them, right? Really get out and touch them, really see who they are, what they're doing. What are asking questions? 3 questions. I'll write these down. These are really important. The first would be, what are your biggest struggles? And you'll notice we do it with Alchemist Nation with our Millionaire Path consultations that Amy and Derek do. They go out and they ask these 3 questions so that they can find out what's going on with the community. And those chats only last about 15 minutes. You don't need a lot of time to figure out what's going on with your avatar. First is, what are your biggest problems? What are your biggest dreams and aspirations? Or another way to say is, what are your goals? What are you looking to accomplish? And the third is, what don't you like about your current situation? Another way to say that is, what's frustrating? What's bothering? What is your biggest challenge? So you get those 3 questions out and you're going to know a lot about that person. I'll say them one more time if that's easier for everybody. What are your biggest struggles? What are your dreams and aspirations? What don't you like about your current situation? Those are relevant. Open-ended questions are the best, because once you know your avatar intimately, you'll be able to start creating content that can truly help them, and that is created using their own language. Really pay attention to the words and phrases they use and how often those words and phrases come up in different conversations you're having. Like I said, financial freedom. I want to do whatever I want with whoever I want. Hands to the camera if that rings true to you, any one of those sentences, because you've all said it, you've all thought it. I've asked hundreds of people just like you who are in your position what their goals are. Who here has ever thought, I hate my job, I want to quit my job, I wish I could just do whatever I want? This is part of our marketing message, because I've heard it from so many of my clients, so many of the people that I work with. Motivated sellers, what are some of the things they say? The price of gas is so high. I can't, my tenants are terrible. I just can't. The tenant it took advantage of us. I love when a landlord says the tenant took advantage of us, right? Because I know that's a sign that they're going to sell me the property at a discount. Or I can't afford, contractors have become so expensive. It's ridiculous. It's not what it used to be. Or my husband used to fix all these things. I don't have him anymore, so I can't fix this stuff anymore. All of these are stories that I've heard from motivated sellers, reasons that they're selling. Third step, how your avatar can help you. Very important to know how they can help you since you're helping them. Here's an example of how I've used this avatar, Alan, when we were thinking about creating products for Alchemist Nation. Because I wasn't quite sure where to start with the product creation, we decided to start listening for cues and emails we were receiving from our audience, and on social media and in live events. We were already interacting and engaging with them regularly. Something we heard several times in our audience members talking about how they wish they had a one-stop dashboard for real estate investing. This is where the Alchemist Connect came from. This is where Alchemist Nation came from. They were talking about, if it'd be nice if this was all online, if I could just have all of this right in one place. This is where originally we started with Alchemist University. That was our original attempt at creating all of our training and some of our tools on the internet. We started with Alchemist University, then it just graduated into Alchemist Nation, and now we've shifted over to a paid platform called Alchemist Connect, where people can not only get our education on it, they can also do automated follow-ups, they can build lists, they can reach out to people automatically, they can build websites, they can build funnels, they can build surveys. All the things you need as a real estate investor, as a marketer, as a business owner, entrepreneur, are slowly being added in addition to it. So we're looking at adding an accounting component. We're looking at adding a project management, a tracking component. Over time, this will be the one-stop shop solution that our investors have asked for. Asking them is the key to identifying what they want and moving them towards it. Generator Business School, the 100 Millionaire Summit, Mission of Millions, Master of Influence. These are events that we started creating because the community said, I'd like a little bit more of this. The 52 Weeks to Wealth, right? They're like, could we get a weekly component? Could we get something that we'd all get together weekly? And what are the principles? How do I build a business plan? Well, the 52 wealth principles are a business plan. If you can answer all 52, they're all questions, by the way. How will you respond to this? principle. If you answer each one of those, you've got a business plan for the year. And the business plan is broken into 4 quarters, 13 principles each, because they all come back to marketing, sales, business, and making sure that you're driven, the mindset. So they were concerned with how to become better networkers and how to stand out in their social media, which is where the next challenge came from. Who here's already heard of the recession-proof challenge? Has anybody heard of it? So recession-proof challenge. They're like, how do I raise capital? Man, I know how to raise capital, right? I just reach out to people who've got money, or I reach out to everybody. I find out who's got money, and then I ask them if they're interested in investing, what type of vehicle they'd be going into. In fact, over the next 30 days, I think we're starting it August 1st. We're going to start the 30-day challenge. Over the next 30 days from that challenge, I'm going to be doing a capital raise as well. I'm going to raise $1 million over 30 days with everybody in the challenge as a way to say, hey, I'm doing it with you. And Doreen just dropped in chat. She's doing it as well. So we're all going to, even, I know Derek is going to take it on. I know Doreen is taking it on. Amy's taking it on. She said she was going to do it with us. These are people already within our company who are like, you know what? Yes, I'm going to take on this challenge along with the community because it's also relevant for them. Hands camera, if you could recognize building 100 people who you could raise capital from is important, be a game changer for you, right? Never have to say, I don't have the money for a deal. The alternative to building 100 people you could potentially invest with is building 100 wholesalers, building 100 real estate agents, but building a network where you have infinite deal flow of whatever you're looking for. If it's money, well, infinite people who want to invest with you. So how important is defining my avatar? So next section, super important, right? It's kind of the only thing. Has anybody ever been single before? Know what single is like? Yeah, at one point in your life, right? So single is because you haven't identified who you want to be with. Once you get super, super clear on how they look, feel, taste, touch, sound, act, then in their social status, then it becomes so easy to find that person. You just got to get super, super clear about who they are, where they are, right? Once you're clear, like I was single, I got super clear. I realized I didn't want to date bartenders. So I wasn't finding my girl in the bar. I realized I didn't want to date strippers. So I stopped going to the strip clubs. I was like, I'm not going to date a stripper. Let's move on to the next phase. I realized that the person I was looking for was somebody who was into money, into health, into building good quality relationships, and respected themselves and loved themselves. And so I started going to success events. I started going to any event that said like millionaire, rich, or real estate in the title. I was like, well, I'm just going to go. I'm already trained. I'm already a millionaire, but I'm going to go because I might meet a beautiful girl who's like-minded, or I might meet a guy who knows a girl who has a sister or something who's like-minded, or has an assistant in their business or a partner in the business. Hands to camera, if you recognize, it doesn't really matter like how you meet them. The point is I got super clear about where I was going. That's how I met Dorina. I was in an event, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind in Boston, and she was in the event. I was single and she was single. She was sort of single. She was on her way to being single. She didn't know it yet. We were both in that event. I saw her. She was one of the hottest girls in the room. I went over, snuck over, had a conversation, and she was like, this guy is so cool, obviously, because who else, like, what else was she going to think? And I thought, wow, she's intelligent, she's funny, she knows her way around money, and she's interested in learning more and being better. And she's also almost single. So, hit all the checkpoints. Although the whole being single thing, like, I don't care if somebody's with another coach, I don't care if somebody's with another realtor, I don't care if somebody's with another investment partner. I'm gonna still build that relationship because one day they might see that I have become the potential they were looking for. Hence, again, if it's okay if somebody's working with a different provider when they start working with you, is that all right? If a motivated seller is working with a different agent or a different investor, is it okay to hang in there and show them just that you are the best, that it is better to work with you over somebody else? Abso-freaking-lutely. So your avatar is extremely, extremely important. Without it, you can't find the person you're looking for. Purpose of this mission is not only to provide you with a good example of what defining your avatar might look like and sound like, it's also to show you how important defining your avatar really is. Without your avatar, you're going to have a very hard time making decisions that could change the course of your business and start your growth. Who is your avatar? Write it down. I want you to be very clear. Take this time. This is either homework or take it in action tonight to do it. Who is your avatar? Where are they at? And how can you best position yourself to find them? Last question before we end this session is, can my avatar evolve? Yes. Annoyingly, of course they can. Ron and I started off with real estate agents. That was our avatar in the beginning. Real estate agents who wanted to be investors. And it turned out a much better avatar over the years has been real estate investors who might happen to have their real estate license, but we really don't care if they do or not. Because it turns out the people who actually make investments, actually do things, are people who've made investments in the past. One of the other components to our avatars is I typically will work with somebody who's already paid another coach another mentor, another 3-day event, another training program, mastermind, because the likelihood is when they compare themselves to me, they're going to recognize the value. Does that make sense? If somebody's already spent 35,000 with somebody else and they come to one of our programs, they're like, damn, I got robbed. It's not that you got robbed. It's that they do something different from what we do. We are very, very involved. We're very specific on moving people through. We build millionaires. The other coaches and gurus do whatever they do. And they're very clear about what they do. Does that make sense? Many, like, their messaging literally tells you this is what we do. And a lot of times it's we teach this specific thing. Now, whether you become a millionaire with it or you become financially free with it, that's usually on you. For us, our process is millionaires. That's what we do. We put names on deeds. Very clear. Simple, makes a lot of sense. Awesome. Was this fun? Was this valuable? Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for paying attention to this, because if it wasn't for you allowing me to do this tonight, I would have had to go and record this on my own, all by myself, and doing it with each one of you on this call is a lot more fun for me. So give yourselves a round of applause. Day one, day one of the Recession Proof Challenge pregame is complete. You got your homework.